And we'll have the prayer and the pledge. May the God known to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oaths of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to call the meeting to order for Tuesday, February 4th. Councilors, you have minutes from the 21st, both our regular meeting and the work session. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion.
Motion and a second to approve both sets of minutes for January 21. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are on to public comments. Jacob Mitchell, 703 Water Street. You have the floor, sir.
Yes, thank you. I just had a question. I was thinking about this with everything that's going on in DC. I know that we have the sewer project that is really good, that we've been able to obtain the money from the infrastructure bill. We've gotten $10 million so far. What my question is due to the fact that they have frozen some of that, does any of those freezes and stuff affect like the projects that are going on in the village? Are they going to be delayed? And are we still going to be able to collect the additional $10 million over the next $5 million a year over the next 2 years, with the original agreement of how it was supposed to be? It's just a general question I thought of because, I mean, that project's so important to the updates of the village and our sewer system and the issue like you had on Water Street and stuff. And just a general question I just wanted to ask and maybe have
We
y'all.
received no information otherwise to the contrary as far as that funding goes. It was approved out of prior budget years, so we fully anticipate full funding.
Okay.
And I'm sure if we're not in that situation, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. But for now, we fully anticipate all that funding being in place.
Okay. No, it just crossed my mind because I know you all work hard to get things going and make sure things are going, like the Highland Park project and the sewer project, and it just made me think the other day when I saw that. And I know there's other people in the community that probably think about it too, especially the ones that do the job and would be affected the most if the money's not there, even if it was frozen for a month and you couldn't do it. So it's just something I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thanks for your question. We'll move right into department updates. Counselors, you have department updates in your packet, but I'll also say I think it's pretty evident what our folks have been doing street department wise and whatnot. But I'll also say, as a reminder, our February 20th meeting will be our extended work session to talk about projects coming up. Danny, myself, met with Jason McComas, as well as Chris Plant. So there's an outline of projects that are coming up that we talked about in generalities during some of our prior work sessions. So some of those things will be coming to fruition in the short term. So we'll talk about some of those things at that point. But I also want to say to Danny, off of your work orders, you guys have been up against the wall. And also with respect to what you're doing at the shop and kind of revamping your space and making best use of your space, you guys have done a really nice job over there. I took a chance to go visit. He and Chris and Jason McComas have a great working relationship. So I think out of everything that happens, even as we go through those bid processes, it's the best use of the space that we have without having to, go. We're not spending an exorbitant amount of money on once. We're doing it because we need it. So I think as you guys heard that in the initial conversations, that theme will continue as we put those bids out. If there's no questions on, and Chief, I'll say too, again, I did receive a number of items of feedback from about the department, their response during weather and other accidents on the interstate that were in writing. So I appreciate your guys and want to make sure that we put that on record to see it as well. One other thing, Wayne County, I don't know if you guys saw this, they had kind of was kind of a nasty spill situation within their infrastructure, their sewer and storm sewer system. Had gotten a call from Mayor Grace, and we went out and helped those guys put our camera truck to use to figure out where that environmental issue. It could have been a very serious environmental issue. It was not. They were able to trace it back, but I want to make sure that we put on record that thanks to the fellows that went out and helped Wayne County track that down. They don't have the technology. We've sold them police vehicles in the past. In those cities who need help, I think it's imperative that we do those things to help those places out. So Mayor Grace wanted me to make sure to extend to the council and administration their gratefulness for us going out there and helping them through that time. So, if there's no questions on departmental updates or comments, I will say please keep submitting those work orders and requests, and also as time goes on, as better weather hits, we'll be addressing those potholes that were created through the winter time. Okay, we will move right into new business. We do not have old business, so we'll go right into new business. We do have the consideration of approval of payment of project invoices for the Highland Park Storm Drain Replacement Project, the Tanner Branch Storm Drain Re-Up Project, and the Blake Street Storm Drain Replacement at the intersection of Brady Drive and Blake Street. Danny, did you want to speak to those this evening?
Yes, this is the second invoice that's been submitted. They are ahead of schedule. We had a couple of hiccups. We were plugging a couple of gas lines that didn't work there. So anyway, those have been taken care of, and the people there are really receptive to the contractor that's there working. They even decorated the porta potty with Christmas lights. Now they got Valentine's on it. But anyhow, this is the second invoice we had, and like I say, they're ahead of schedule, getting their work done.
Questions on the resolution before you? If not, I'll entertain a motion for the invoices for the aforementioned projects.
Motion to accept this presented.
Motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are to the end of our regular agenda. I'll say that I'm not going to say anything about health things going on, but I want to wish Rachel, our reporter, speedy recovery this evening. She's out, and we miss her when she's not here, obviously, so I'll just say that. And then also, for the sake of our meeting on the 20th, we have our architects here, and also, just as a side note, we've been talking about those zoning issues and building code issues and things like that. Mark and I were talking prior to the meeting. I think it's important that Mark is able to meet with Mike for an extended period as well before we start addressing those things. If we can do that prior to the 20th, we will, and we'll put that on the agenda. But based on the feedback that we've gotten, there's a number of things that need to be looked at by 2 or 3 people, not including me because I don't have the expertise required to speak on those, but some of the things that we want to see done and versus what we can do and can't do. So I think just keep that in mind as we move towards those discussions as well. I'll also say the legislative session starts next week. You can wish Mark and myself good luck. Hopefully we can keep our heads below the trench line and keep things the way they are for now for cities. There are some concerning things that have already been discussed in caucus meetings and whatnot, but there's no official action yet as they've not hit the floor. But that does start next week, and probably Mark will probably stay over at the municipal league offices. I'm more of a go straight to their face and talk to them about it. But that's coming up, and they'll be in session for the next 60 days. So just keep that in mind, and I'll send correspondence out on the things that affects us. And if you wouldn't mind, if there's an ask to just send an email to a representative, you can even copy it, paste it, and send it. Just put your name on it. It would be immensely helpful to those things that would adversely affect the village. That's all I have. Paul, you're up.
Well, once again, I think we take so often our fire department, our police department for granted. We just know they're gonna be there when needed. But we had an incident last week on Park Avenue that in 2 seconds. Fire department, police department were there and took care of the situation. And I wanna tell you, we really appreciate them, thank them for that. Thank you all for being here tonight. That's it.
I think it speaks highly of not only the city of Barboursville, but also Wayne and the relationship that we have with other, communities that we can go to each other, because I'm sure if we needed something that Wayne had, they would do the same. I think that speaks highly of everybody involved, that we can do those kind of things to help others, and we will do the same for us. That's it.
These two council ladies, thank you guys for coming, thank you for being here, thank you.
I just want to acknowledge the beautiful day of the day was able to go out to our park, enjoy some sunshine. But no, I just, again, our park is used any chance it is. It definitely was used when the weather breaks and everyone was enjoying it. It's our jewel we have. I also just want to acknowledge the lifetime spent of a good citizen we had here in Barboursville that passed away, Miss Turman. She was definitely a local and made a lot of contribution to this town over her years. So just remember her and her family.
I just wanted to add on to what Michelle had already said, about the importance of reciprocity with other communities and a good working relationship with everything around us. Sometimes we think we got it covered and we have the resources we need and everything like that, and then something major happens. Look what, like in California, they go from where I guess they thought they were okay to now everything was gone, and disasters could happen anytime to any community, and I think working relationships is really important to be able to act for them, because it may be us next.
It is.
And,
Thank you very much.
Same with Ms. German, she's the whole family, they've always they're Barboursville people. You talk to anybody anywhere around. I know jokingly they used to call it Termanville for a while, but the Termans are well thought of, and Miss Terman was a really great person. I delivered a newspaper for a long time, 6-7 years, and she always took care of me. All this goodbye. I wanted Miss Terman to pay. Mr. Terman wouldn't give me a tip. Well, he over the years has given me many a tip. Anyway, that's all.
Life lessons. Life lessons. You guys good? Mark, good?
Homeland Security today, they mentioned the assistance out of Wayne, and they appreciated everything the village did. I believe Huntington jumped in. I think it was a great team effort, and that Homeland Security, we meet once a month at the Tri-State Fire Academy on the first Tuesday, which means it's on council night as well. And we always get a lot of positive impact. If we do have critical incident or situation that happens here, we've got a lot of people that we can go to. There are a lot of experts in there, and that originally could have been a lot. They thought it was worse than what it was ended up turning out. It still wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as what they had originally projected. So, but they said thanks.
Make sure to pass that along to our folks too.
Yep.
To your guys and Danny, to your guys as well. If there is nothing else to come before the council this evening, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.